It kind of felt like manifest destiny that we were to meet and do stupid shit together.
Together, they've made dozens of projects, starting with Barrio Angels in 2004. Brett Mauser and Bradley Bates began a partnership that would grow Ponderous Productions into a legitimate production company with films on Blockbuster shelves and Netflix. And now in 2023, they've brought us Serial Rabbit 7 and the secrets how they've made so many films with so little money. Today, we look back at this unique friendship.
It's like a movie. It's almost like a movie because if I hadn't come back from the military and gotten hurt, if I hadn't known those people who were starting the WB, if I hadn't called them and said, hey, do you have anything? If he hadn't shown up there and done that, there was a lot of ifs that for him to even have been there.
It's like everything lined up because I at the time I was entertaining 3 different jobs in Corpus Christi at 3 different stations, and 2 of them were recognizable affiliates, you know, the major networks, and then one was WB, which was just sort of a cable channel, what they were calling Cable Plus at the time. And I could tell that I was going to get more freedom at the WB. And that's why I took that one.
The 2 creatives would produce some of the most zaniest and most bizarre commercials in WB network history.
Come on down, you buy a first car truck and you get a Howard Dean bobblehead. That may not bobble, but it does a
But that partnership didn't happen overnight.
I'm in a suit and tie and I'm being professional and I'm selling commercials.
I thought he was the most boring dude on the planet. He was just so stuffy, so just blah.
And he's thinking I'm all stuffed up and kind of a dork and kind of boring.
And then we shot this one commercial for a moving company.
He tells me to go over there and do this commercial where I'm holding boxes and walking around and I'm supposed to drop the boxes. And I'm just like, I'm holding boxes, I trip and I fall and do stupid shit. And he's like, well, this guy might have some promise. I'm annoying people.
Because it was just one station manager there at the time. And he really didn't know what he was doing. Which is why we got away with so much crap.
Did you know that the French were cowards even over 150 years ago?
Just want to see your inside.
Our managers or other salesmen, they didn't understand what we were doing. They didn't understand the humor. They didn't understand the creativity. We had one insurance commercial which was about sort of like drunk driving insurance, basically. We had Brad at a bar, and then somebody bumps into him, and he spills booze all over himself, and then he lights a cigarette, catches himself on fire, runs around. We had Brad running around a lot. An asteroid hit him at one point. He was running around with his ass on fire. His house fell down. He was always just sort of the butt of the joke on a lot of the things. But that's what he did. He did best.
I don't even get paid to get this. Treat me like shit and go, thanks, Bradley. Go have a nice day.
Sometimes we would go too far and one of us would pull the other back and say, we can't do that. But then there were times that we didn't pull each other back. A few of our commercials were actually banned by the WB. They censored it and wouldn't let us air them. And one of them was for a bank. Brad and his wife had just gotten a new house, and it winds up the house was possessed.
Get out.
Did you hear something?
Then the demon, whatever, possessed the wife. Her head spun around, and then she threw up split pea soup all over Brad.
Those were one of the ones where we didn't yin and yang each other. Yin and yang, that sounds nasty, doesn't it? I yin and yang Brad all day. So we started doing things over and over again, and we would stay late almost every night at Warner Brothers making stupid shit. Where's the liquor? Because I would do the commercials. I'd go out there and get the business and be like, okay, we're going to do a commercial for you. And we'd go over there and he'd have his camera and we're going to do some cool shit here. You're going to love this. And he'd film a whole bunch of stuff and we'd take off. And then he would just put it on the screen in the studio and give me a microphone. And he'd be like, all right, I'm just going to play this. And you just do whatever the you want with the film playing and I'll record it. Das Außen platzen Sie mit dazu. Zu zerplatzen. Tucken Sie zu blutens aus. So he played this video of this computer company that like makes small computers, and he was just playing scenes of computers that he had filmed while we were there. And I'm just like, all right, laptops from $99. We have Dells. We have a Z. Just stupid shit. And I was like, and that's how we won that award for that commercial for.
It's in this movie.
Yeah, that's in the movie. It's like planes on sticks. Corpus Christi, we're awesome little boats. Got all kinds of water for you to play in and statues out the wazoo. Pop stars and minor league baseball art all over the place. Corpus Christi rocks. We got them all. That won us an award.
Brett had already made several movies before he joined WB, and he was ready to make another one. With the new friendship he had created with Brad, Brett decided to ask him to produce his next feature, Barrio Angels.
So it was the first one, so I was like, let's do it. I've never done this shit before, but I was like, I do have a TV film degree.
While in Corpus Christi from 2004 to 2005, Brett and Brad produced several music videos, and after their success with Barrio Angels, produced Shadow Dragon, The Bad Mojo Project, the original Serial Rabbit, and Dog's Life. In 2006, the two packed up and headed to San Antonio, where they began focusing exclusively on making Ponderous Productions a success.
It was like probably some of the most fun times I've ever had, because we would just, as friends, Sergio, me, Brett, Jeff would come by every once in a while, and we'd all sit out on the porch and just talk about stupid shit. And we would go like, that would make a good scene. Or we'd talk about a film project and what we could do with different scenes, and we'd talk about the scenes and be like, oh, what about this? What about this? Or like the next Serial Rabbit, what are we gonna do with that? And I'd come up with a dumb idea, and Brett would shut it down.
The sad thing is there are some great ideas that you'll probably never see because even for us, we were like, that's great, that's hilarious, but we can't do that. Brad is a creative genius and a comedic genius up to a point as well. He'll be going up hills, oh, this, laughing, joking, coming up with these great ideas, and then he hits that peak and it goes straight down. Just ridiculous. It just goes off the charts, ridiculousness, absurdity, and just not funny anymore.
I'm shitting myself. I mean, I feel like I have to shit myself, but after that shit last night, it all stopped up like I've been eating cheese for a week. Okay, so there was a scene where I thought maybe superheroes should have suits that are actually their skin and you can't take them off. And so in order to not be in the superhero suit, they had to put clothes on because they were naked with the superhero suit. And people didn't know that was just a naked man running around in his skin who had powers. So yeah.
And what happened with that idea?
That one got shot down because there was going to be a lot of free hanging things flying around in the fight scenes. So
a commercial for WB.
No, it couldn't. No.
Oh, this is
Yeah, it was supposed to be a commercial for we were doing a superhero scene for WB, and there was like a bad villain, and we actually had someone do the comics and made it a comic strip instead. So
if you don't advertise with the WB-23, you're a communist.
I can't even think of one that I've reeled in on you on. Can you?
Where were you on the abortion scene?
Oh. I was with him on that one.
What makes Ponderous and Not So Sane so special isn't just the movies they produce and how many they've made, but it's the bonds it has created, lifelong friendships that very few people will experience in life.
Yeah, but that's the way you play. I don't. Yes, exactly. That's how you play it. No, you have to guess. That's what you play. That's how everyone plays. That's how they play. That's how the people in Japan play.
I think my favorite memories are sitting on the front porch, having a cigarette, having a drink, and chilling with Brett and Sergio and Jeff and whoever else shows up, and just chatting ideas, saying stupid things, and just trying to come up with more stupid ideas. And it was the most enjoyable parts of our lives. And we would film some of it, like when 4th of July came along. we started doing like Legos. And that was basically, the Legos came from us chatting out on the porch.
Trick-or-treating is about a small child, under the age of 12, going from door to door in their neighborhood to friends and family saying trick-or-treat, getting a piece of candy, and then saying thank you, happy Halloween, or maybe even both. How about that, folks? Think you can tell your rude bastard kids to say thank you?
Volcanic Church's chicken.
Hot-ass chicken.
And the War Dogs News.
You tards have bought into this save the planet bullshit, hook, line, and you Al Gore.
And those were really enjoyable times in my life that I treasure.
If the guys have learned one thing through their years of filmmaking, it's that in order to make good films, you may have to surround yourself with some people who just might not be so sane.
You really have to surround yourself with crazy. You do. You're not going to get good ideas from sane people. You're going to have someone like a Sergio who's crazy. You're going to have people like me who have Tourette's and are nuts and a little off. And then you're going to have Brett over there who's going to be a little all of it. And he tries to figure out how to put all that together. So there's always going to be crazy. And for some reason, film is like the magnet of crazy.
Jeff and I were hanging out, and I had just finished a movie, and I had been working with some crazies on that movie. And I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, why do the crazies always find me? And he looked at me and he said, Brett, you might as well ask why the graveyard attracts the dead. It's where they go.
Because if you look around and you're honest with yourself, everybody around you in these films is a little bit off. Everybody's a little crazy. Because you don't do this shit unless you are.
That's right.
Because you have to pull that crazy out of your soul to put that into a character. And that character isn't going to be believable or entertaining without a little crazy.
It's been almost 20 years since Brett and Brad teamed up.
Don't blow shit up!
From a $100 light kit and a used DV camera to highly professional cast and crew, things have changed quite a bit. But they couldn't have gotten where they are if they had given up.
The cast and crew has gotten better. So the people playing around the rabbit, and I'm looking through basically a little hazy lens of like a little bitty mesh screen. And the acting of the people I'm killing are getting better. They're making it a little more believable. We're shooting on a faster pace. The quality of the image is more beautiful. The quality of the acting is better. The scenes are more beautiful. We've got actually locations with stuff in it instead of just a warehouse or just. We used to just be like, whatever we could get. We'd pull over on the side of the freaking highway and be like, all right, this looks good. Everybody get out real quick before we get in trouble. Film it. No, okay, we didn't do that, but it was kind of like that. It was almost like that. We would get permission from realtors to do things, but there's only so many locations that a realtor will allow you to shoot at that are kind of cool. And we tried to get caves and stuff like that, but we needed like insurance. But now we have insurance, so we can go do those cool locations that we couldn't do in the past because of lack of insurance or funding for the insurance or whatever else.
There's a lot of potential for Not So Sane Entertainment. But more importantly, we hope we've shown you that you have a lot of potential too. Now you may be saying to yourself that you do so many things differently. Well, guess what? You can. Just pick up a camera, get out there, and make your own films. Brett and Brad have been doing it for over 20 years with pretty much no money. So can you. Next on Long Shot, it's time to get Serial Rabbit out to the public. How did they do it? We'll find out. But before you do, make sure you check out Serial Rabbit, now available on Amazon.
What, you still here? Go home. Get well. Shoot.